Welcome back, everyone. I am standing here at the farm and we have the two augers side by side today. Now, we had pulled the Kewanee out of the shed and we parked it next to the Mayrath, which we had bought on a local farm auction. And someone in a previous video said that they wished that I covered the augers a little bit more. So I decided that I just talk a little bit about Kewanee as well as Mayrath, a little bit about the company's history. Now, Kewanee is actually out of business, and this is the auger that we've had. It's served a pretty good purpose, I will admit. It's done us very well. We haven't had too many problems. Not sure if it was this one or the one we had before this, but a few years ago we had to take apart one of the augers because the fletting snapped in half. It might have been on this one, but that was back when we hauled the augers around all of our fields and had to load out of wagons because we didn't have grain carts. That Brent grain cart that I bought, I really think has saved us a lot of time. Between the two grain carts that we have, I really do think that we're saving probably like 20% of our harvesting time. I really think it speeds us up that much, just having those carts there and not having to fiddle around running back and forth from the farm to bring all of the equipment, get set up and everything. So I think 15 was the last year, where it was actually the first year that I started renting ground. And we hauled the Kewanee up to one of my fields and I'm like, there's no way I can keep putting up with this. So a little bit about Kewanee. So our Kewanee 6100 Grandpa had originally purchased several years ago, where we had purchased it back off of the farm auction in 2014 after his passing. So the Kewanee company was actually founded in 1912 by Wallace Glidden and B.F. Baker under the name Kewanee Corn Hanger, which was one of the main products that they produced. Over the years, they made several different products, including grain elevators, truck lifts, disc harrows, and several other products, including augers. So Wallace Glidden actually died in 1920, I believe, and his brother Ray took over. After Ray took over, he ran the company until 1951, where his son then took over until the company was sold in the 1970s. So after the company was sold in 1972, it continued under the name of Kewanee until 1994. It was bought out by Allied Products, which owns several different companies, including Agco, New Idea, and Bush Hog. But after there was a deal to go down to sell the Kewanee brand, but it never actually went through, and eventually Kewanee just closed down, and it is no more. So if you're looking to get parts for a Kewanee auger, you're gonna have some fun times looking for some parts, but it is possible. I know that for several different things, possibly certain augers, you may be able to find aftermarket parts from Bush Hog. I'm not totally sure. I don't believe we've gone and looked for any parts for this auger. So the reason we actually bought this second auger is because, you know, this Kewanee auger is getting pretty old. And I've explained this previously in another video, just how we need something that's a little bit more reliable. So we went and bought this Mayrath. Now, the swing auger on this is actually mechanically driven, and the gearbox is right here, and the gearbox sends the PTO up here, and that is where it is pushed out through the swing auger. So now some fun facts about Mayrath. The Mayrath company actually started off by Martin Mayrath in 1943. Martin Mayrath lived a life of strenuous labor shoveling grain, and from what I can assume, he got pretty sick of that, and he came up with the idea called the portable grain auger, two of which are right in front of us today. Mayrath has grown to be so large over the years that it is actually a world supplier of grain handling products. So this tells me that they do make some pretty good products, being that, I mean, they are still in business. However, they were bought out by AGI, I think, in 2017, just recently. Now, I wasn't in the shed when Travis and Dad fired this thing up, but they did say that it is very quiet and it ran pretty smoothly, which is good news. Someone had also previously asked me if you could move the swing auger from side to side. Now, if you pull off this pin here, you can pull this out and you can actually switch this arm over on this side. And then you take the swing auger all the way around the front and just bring it around the other side. And that's how you switch it. It's pretty well the same concept on the Kewanee as well. The one on this one actually just flips over. Kind of the same thing. You got to take that pin out and then it just swings over. So that's just a little bit of information about the augers that we have now. I think that if we have success with the Mayrath, if the Kewanee comes just sitting around, who knows, we may look to sell it someday, maybe within the next year or two. But the Kewanee is actually a few feet shorter than the Mayrath, which is a good thing because the Kewanee on the 20,000 bushel grain bin over there actually cut it pretty close. By the time you actually filled it up and you got grain running through it, there was quite a bit of weight sitting on the roof of the bin. Not that the bin couldn't handle it, it's just something that you have to be mindful about to make sure that there's not too much pressure on the roof of the bin and you don't want to, you know, break any bolts or anything on the roof. So when we go to sell corn, I'm sure we'll be getting this out and I'll be making videos on that. I'm pretty sure we'll be starting to sell some grain here in May. So we'll be pulling that out and running it and putting it to the test. So with that, I just wanted to kind of expand a little bit on, you know, the augers and talk about the companies a little bit, because someone had mentioned that they wished that I had dove into it a little bit more. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other ones. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work if you haven't already. And thanks again.